Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Warcraft 3 replay cast. Today it's a 1v1 on Terenas Stand between our pink human player, MisterWinner, and up top, our yellow orc player, Herofocus. We're going to speed this up to the 2-minute mark, and it is Terenas Stand, so there are many renegade wizards all over the place. And I know a lot of people want to see the build order of these players. I've actually been asked a couple times to not speed the game up, but my reply to that, as much as I would love to show you every aspect of the game, is that the game is pretty much always the same at the beginning of the game. The build order is almost always the same, and if you don't build that same specific build order, then you're not playing all that well. And I don't mean to be rude there, but Warcraft 3 has been out for a very, very, very long time, and you can easily Google build orders for any of the races, and it's pretty much always the same. There are a few different variations, maybe to do something faster one way or another, but it is basically just about that, always the same. And now the Mountain King going after the Apprentice Wizard Camp did get himself a Gloves of Haste and a Tome of Strength +1, so pretty nice start for that Mountain King, and Slippers of Agility +3, not the greatest item for the Mountain King, but could sell that at some point and grab something better. Boots of Speed, Staff of Preservation, that sort of thing. And Blade Master harassing the human player as usual. And we have tons of footmen coming out for MisterWinner. And now gathering up those militia and gonna move off and perhaps go to the Kobold Taskmaster camp, perhaps, or he does have 5 peasants, so that is usually a signature of a fast expansion, and I believe indeed he's just gonna be skipping that and going to the expansion by the looks of it, and gonna try and fast expand as humans usually do. And another grunt is on the way from the orc player here. Assassin camp now being creeped out here by the Mountain King, and takes a Stormbolt to the face, and looks like another Gloves of Haste on that Mountain King. Now watch how fast this Mountain King attacks. It is unbelievable. Watch the speed of that Mountain King. And here we go on this grunt. Incredible. And that bash, see, as you can see, the 2 Gloves of Haste is going to be insane on this Mountain King, because he's going to bash all the time with that fast attack speed. And Blade Master doing a pretty good job of harassing his opponent and taking away all of the peasants. There's only 1 peasant left now, so he's gonna have to sit here and defend this 1 peasant while he creates a scout tower. Most likely gonna make an arcane tower to start, or at least that is my preference. Sometimes people just make guard towers right off the bat, but you really can't beat the arcane tower indeed. It's just so good against heroes, takes away all their mana, and that is sort of an invaluable aspect of the Arcane Tower, is jacking mana from your opponent. And now another Scout Tower being made, and he's going to have to stand here and defend these Scout Towers just for a moment, as Scout Towers and towers that are being created are basically made of paper, as they have no armor and only 300 health, so they go down in pretty much just a few hits. And now Blade Master going to be going after the peasant here. Could get a Stormbolt. I do believe he has the mana, 80 mana, and decided against that. Could have probably prolonged the life of that peasant, but who knows? The Stormbolt might not have lasted long enough. Now the Town Hall is coming up here, and he does have 3 additional peasants to help speed boost that. Murloc Huntsman can't go down here for the human player. And is our Blade Master going to be creeping or not? And we'll see what our human player gets out of this camp here. And another Slippers of Agility +3. Very interesting. So it is increasing his attack speed even more with those Slippers of Agility. And our Blade Master picked up a Cloak of Shadows from the Apprentice Wizard. Cloak of Selling. It's almost completely useless on a Blade Master, considering he can just cloak anyway. Now the Mountain King attacking insanely fast here, has 6 additional agility and 30% increased attack speed. So he is now a 3rd one. Unbelievable. What a crazy Mountain King. This is insane. 9 agility and 30% Gloves of Haste. And when is the madness going to end here? And now Shadow Hunter out for the Orc player, going after the Rogue camp. And what is he going to be doing? Oh, he sold all of his slippers of agility, but I don't really blame him on that one, as they're not really helping out all that much. But pretty funny nonetheless. 9 additional agility on that Mountain King. Claws of Attack +6 for that Blade Master. Really can't ask for a better item on a Blade Master than Claws of Attack. I suppose Gloves of Haste are pretty good on a Blade Master too. The more attacks you get in, the more crits you get in. And Shadowhunter going to fall here. And that was a very quick death for that Shadowhunter. He did not last very long at all. And Mountain King still attacking pretty fast, but his attack speed has been dropped just a little bit there by losing all of that additional agility. But decided to sell them and buy the Boots of Speed, which is probably the better bet anyway. I just thought it was a quite fun novelty to see that +9 agility. And Blade Master in chase here, takes out one Blade Master there with a crit. And takes a Stormbolt to the face. Or chestal region, whichever you prefer. Scroll of Regeneration, a little bit too quick there. He actually missed a couple of his footmen and could have waited just a split second longer and got these 2 footmen here, but I don't suppose in the matter. It really is a long-term thing. Just a little bit of health missing from 2 footmen really shouldn't change the game. And now Shadowhunter picked up that Tome of Experience and gets himself level 2. Suit of Accuracy for the Orc player, which is going to be absolutely ideal right now for these Wind Riders. Gives them +4 damage, which is pretty nice. Tome of Agility there on the ground for the Mountain King. So gets himself a little bit faster attack speed. Every bit of agility makes him even faster. And so with a high percentage bash on this Mountain King soon here, by the time he is level 4, he will be bashing a lot, particularly with that increased attack speed. Pops a Clarity Potion there, needs a little bit more mana for those Stormbolts. And buys another one as well. And perhaps he's going to be waiting on that Clarity Potion to kick in for a little bit. Then he's going to pop another one and then buy a Scroll of Regeneration. Not really sure, as he does have some low health footmen. And Stormbolt goes off on that Blade Master there, but he's just going to be able to Wind Walk out of there soon enough. And Shadowhunter now creeping out the Sasquatch camp here. And takes another Stormbolt. He's just eating Stormbolts over and over. And Wand of Illusion and Tome of Agility for the Shadowhunter. Wand of Illusion, a pretty good item, particularly for scouting, and sometimes also used in the end game. If you have Abominations or Tauren or Knights, anything large like that, you can just simply replicate them, and it makes your opponent think that you have even more Abominations. And of course, the bigger the unit you actually make an illusion of, the more health it has, thus the longer it lasts and the more damage it absorbs from your opponent's units. And of course, attacking an illusion doesn't really get you anywhere, so the more you attack it, the more it puts you behind. So it's actually somewhat of a useful item, and a lot of players usually keep those. Geomancer under attack here from the human player, and actually casts this map a lot. And this particular creep camp right here, a lot of people actually don't get and just totally skip. Another Tome of Agility for the human player. And now some riflemen caught out of position here. Going to lose these really quick to all of the siege and the grunt damage. Siege not particularly useful on the riflemen, but the grunts sure are. And you can see that bash is going off all the time here as he's so fast. Blade Master will get himself another rifleman kill there. And Stormbolts. And another bash there. He's just bashing all the time. I've never seen so many bashes. And if Stormbolt just wasn't so good, I'd like to see Bash at level 5 to complete that level 3 Bash and just make it even more often. But of course, Stormbolt just way too good to pass up. That would just be silly. Increased range for those rifleman attacks with those long rifles. And Blade Master now with the Goblin Merchant. sporting that potion of lesser invulnerability. And now the human player looks like he is gathering up to get this kobold camp and bring in some militia too. And I think that's somewhat unnecessary unless he's going to take these militia and bring them up to his expansion. I suppose just to creep it out a little bit faster, but again, a little bit unnecessary. Now a potion of greater mana on that Mountain King there, and picks up the Tome of Strength, and it appears MisterWinner knows how to pick up tomes, and I respect that. He knows how to right-click on top of the tome to grab the tome. And with this potion of greater mana, there he goes, pops that, and now has full mana on the Mountain King, which is always a very, very dangerous thing. Blademaster does have potion of invulnerability, so he's going to be unable to die. He's going to be immune to the dying for a little bit. And the human player's army is falling quite fast here, but the footmen doing fairly fine and holding out fairly well. There's a blood mage out for the second hero. And an unfortunate mana draw from that illusioned Blademaster, and going to transfer mana to the Mountain King now. And that's pretty much the job of the Blood Mage in Warcraft 3, which is very unfortunate as Flame Strike is just not particularly good. Everybody just pretty much uses him to transfer mana and steal mana. That's his job, and that's what he's best at. And as you can see, the illusion earlier, he drew the mana from the illusion, and the Blademaster will fall there. And that may be it for our Yellow Orc player, Herofocus. And if he loses this one, it will definitely be GG. Should be GG. And it is indeed GG. And that Mountain King was just absolutely vicious this game. 2 Gloves of Haste on a Mountain King is unbelievable. And I would have really liked to see him keep those 3 Slippers of Agility. Although agility really doesn't help your attack speed all that much. You kind of have to stack it quite a bit. But +9 does give a fairly significant attack speed, and it would just be just sort of humorous and a little bit silly and trolly to have continued that. But here is the unit scores. And the heroes at the end of the game, 5-2 to 3-3. So the Orc player just really didn't level up very much. He got that Shadowhunter early, which of course causes you to sort of even out your heroes. And a high-level hero versus multiple low-level heroes has always been the debate of Warcraft 3. But if you get a level 5 Mountain King, it is just unbelievably good. Resources, much more for the human player. A little bit more, about 1,100 or so. Not too much, but that expansion came into play on there, and he also did lose more to upkeep as well. But hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.